I have a bone to pick with America! So I'm headed to my serving job. I hate it. I hate it. Tell me why I make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls because I've been applying to marketing jobs for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. Insane. But the jobs that are like a cute $150,000 to $200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience! I need to relax.
Welcome back to Totally Based. I'm Joey Gaskin, and today we got to talk about Gen Z. Are they really lazy? But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on new content from me. Now let's get to it. All right, guys, so I keep seeing these videos of these Gen Z women complaining about not wanting to work. And while most of us would just say you're being lazy, others of us would also say, who does? Nobody wants to work a 9 to 5, but that's what the majority of us do, right? We work a 9 to 5. That's how we earn our living. So why are you complaining? But if you listen to these videos just a little closer, they're actually saying a little bit more. You see, most of us are taught, go to school, get a good job, and that's how you live the American dream. But when it comes to Gen Z, who I would argue is probably the most emotional generation so far, they're just saying the quiet part out loud. They're saying this doesn't work. Take a look.
Apparently, millennials and Gen Z have a much different view of the American dream than past generations. Data shows that soaring inflation, student debt, and limited room for advancement in the workplace has made them feel that milestones like affording a home, starting a family, excelling within the corporate structure are out of reach. Does every generation feel this way at some point? I say yes. What do you think?
I don't want to work anymore. And now everyone who's not going to watch the full video can go comment about how lazy I am, how lazy my generation is, and how we just don't want to work anymore. And now for those that are still here, I will explain what we mean by that. I do want to work. If I didn't work, I think I would honestly probably get so bored that I would just want to off myself. Like most of us want to work. It helps give you purpose. It helps give you something to do. Hopefully you do something you're passionate about. Luckily for me, I do something I'm passionate about. So I genuinely like my job. But the problem is the purpose of a job is supposed to pay for you to be able to afford to live. And that's just not the case anymore. People in my generation who went to college, who did everything they were supposed to do, worked hard in school, went to a good college, graduated with their degree, yada, yada, got their first job, and they can't afford to live. And we're working 40 to 60 hours a week, like on average, and we cannot afford to live. Like we just do not make enough to pay rent, to pay for food. Everything is so expensive right now, and wages are not keeping up with the cost of living. So we are working full time, giving up a huge portion of our lives to work, and we can't even afford to live. That is why my generation is frustrated. That is why we don't want to work anymore, because we work really hard and we still can't afford to even get by. So like, what's the point? We can't afford to save. We can't afford to buy things we want. We can't afford to go out and do fun things. We can barely afford to pay our rent and buy food. A lot of us have like 2 or 3 jobs or like work a full-time job and have several side hustles. That is the case for me. And then older generations just look at us and they're like, you're not working hard enough. This is your fault. Like, you're not working hard enough. That's why you can't get by. The reason we can't get by is because the cost of living since the 90s has gone up 67%, while the wages have only gone up 18%. So wages have not kept up with the cost of living. That is why we can't afford to live. Not because we're lazy, not because we don't work, not because we don't want to work anymore. That is why. That is all. We're also in extreme debt because everything is so much more expensive than it used to be. College is way more expensive than it used to be. Cars are way more expensive than they used to be. Housing, way more expensive than it used to be. And on top of all that,
Politicians and older generations are destroying our environment, not doing anything to protect it, so we don't even know that there'll be a habitable Earth when we're older to live in. So yeah, that makes us pretty pessimistic and nihilistic and not want to work.
So you saw that. Has Gen Z been disenfranchised from their right to the American dream? I mean, let's add it up. The cost of living is somewhere around $2,500 to $3,500 a month, and we all know that rent and mortgage is like half of that. Also, if you have one of those fancy 4-year degrees, the average tuition for 4 years is $100,000, right? So you have $100,000 in debt. You come out and you get one of those entry-level positions because you don't have any experience, and because of that, you're not making enough money to eat, so you decide to get another job. And with that second job, now you can eat, right? Now you can finally do something, but you can't do anything on the weekends because you have this second job. You guys are getting where I'm going, right? Take a look at what these thought leaders had to say about college.
College and university today is the biggest scam and waste of time ever. Imagine paying $60,000 to $200,000 for a degree, going into debt, and then 85% of the time not even using your college degree for the job or the career that you have. You can fact check me on this. If you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be an engineer, something that requires a high level of skill that can be taught only in a university and a college, you should absolutely go do that. If you're going to get a business degree, a cultural degree, a liberal arts degree, an art whatever degree, you're learning from professors who profess but don't practice. Go and get a mentor, watch and learn from YouTube, and then go and apply it in the real world, unlike these professors who profess but don't practice.
Okay, and then there's the rest of the university system, which is, I keep saying scam because it really is. What you have to understand about the way that colleges work in the United States is we have been, since 1950, in the process of basically saying to most Americans that the baseline degree in order to hold a job is a college degree. And that is a massive mistake. All that you have done is taken a bunch of jobs that don't require a college degree and now force people to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans and debt in order to get a job that does not require them to go to 4-year university.
You're saying that if I don't go to college, I won't be missing out on anything? Because it's nice to have a safety, right?
Yeah, I just don't think your degree is as safe as you think.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean that. And by the way, it's an important conversation. Parents grew up in an era where a degree was safe. Watch the world. The biggest companies in the world every day are stopping requiring college degrees. It's just not as valuable. But for you, forget about a general concept. For you, maybe that degree would have been good. What I'm saying is you're not going to know. So choose, live, and then if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, adjust. I think people overthink decisions. You'll never know what the alternative would have been. So just pick one and do it.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. If somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. If you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
The reason I started Hustlers University is because I was arguing with someone about how pointless the modern education system is. I think the modern education system is nothing but an indoctrination machine. I think they use it to indoctrinate the youth. I think it's a waste of time.
What, to brainwash people?
To brainwash people, of course it is. School's a scam because it operates in a vacuum. It cannot be fairly compared to any other service. You can get a loan for school, but you can't use that money for anything else. Because if they were to open it up and put the education system into the fair market of capitalism, it would fail. If I were to give you $100 grand and say you can get a degree, or you can buy a crypto, or you can start your own business, or you can do anything you want with it, who's going to choose a degree?
No one, probably.
Nobody! So they say you can only get the money if you use it for education, which allows it to operate inside of a vacuum. Because it operates inside of a vacuum, it is one of the few things on the planet which is allowed to be non-competitive. It's not competitive against any other investment. Everyone knows that. But you can only get the money for that, so you can't get the money to invest in anything else. So you end up doing it, learning something that is outdated, slow to learn. It doubly inflates. There's more degrees every single year, meaning the value of a degree decreases, and the price goes up every single year. So it's worth less each year. It costs more year on year. There's no other industry where you can even get away with that.
So with that being said, maybe Gen Z isn't lazy after all. Maybe they just pulled the final straw and it's mighty short. Although you're more than welcome to call them lazy. I don't care. All I'm saying is, as millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers, we might just want to work on repackaging our advice on the American dream. That is, if it still exists or ever did. So did you like that video? Well, if you did, you can always find more like it right here. And as always, stay tuned here on Totally Based for more news and culture. See you guys.